Okay, so this is my class info, expectations, grades, and virtual schedule. And this is for Algebra 1. I do teach Math 8 and Algebra 1. So this is a video for Algebra 1. And of course, this is Miss Alonzo again. So supplies you will need. The district provided school supplies should be coming in the next few weeks. They said next week, but I always add a week just because when you're dealing with that large amount of school supplies being shipped in, things can be delayed. So I'm saying in a few weeks, we will make it until they come in and you guys are able to go pick them up at the school. But there are a few other things that I think will be helpful in my class. So these are not required, but these are things that might help you. So colored pens. If you watch the About Me video, you know that I said I have dyslexia and I use colored pens to show the different steps. It helps my mind and my eyes keep up with where I'm at. So I do use colored pens. There's cheap ones, cheaper sets, or you can get good sets. Of course, I have my favorite ones, but you could always get like a cheap colored pen set at Walmart. I think Papermate has one that's like $1.98 for 4 or 5 colors. But again, they're not required. In the district school supplies, when they come in, I believe they're giving you red pens, black pens, and pencils, even colored pencils. And you could always use those instead of colored pens, but it's completely up to you. So whatever you choose, you can get some if you want to, or you can just use what you get from the school district. The next one is graph paper spiral. This makes it easier whenever we're graphing so that you aren't using lined graph paper or lined paper like in a spiral like this. So if you use lined paper whenever we make a graph, it can make it a little bit more challenging. You'd have to use a ruler more. But they do have graph spirals where you can see that it's grids like that. I know that's probably hard for the camera to focus, but it makes it so much easier. So we won't always be using graph paper, but if you just have everything in one spiral, it makes it a lot easier. So Walmart actually sells these, it says 4x4 quad notebook. I know it's backwards, but if you just search graph paper spiral from Walmart pickup, which is what I did, didn't even go in the store to try to find it. I just did Walmart pickup and it was $1.47. So if your parents are going to be going to the store or doing a Walmart pickup or something like that, just search graph paper spiral. Staples has them, Walmart has them. I'm pretty sure Target has them too, but I know that I found this one for my last Walmart pickup and it was $1.47. So I actually have 5 of them because I like to do notes with each class individually whenever we're working on them together, so that you're not just looking at a paper that already has it all written. I like to write everything down with you guys. The next thing that I suggest for you guys, since you're in Algebra 1, now we'll get into this in a minute, but this isn't a high school math class, or high school credit math class. So the TI-84 or TI-83, these are graphing calculators and will be used throughout all of your high school math classes and even into college. So this graphing calculator, mine looks like this. It actually has, I'll take it off just so you can see it. But it has this little silicone cover that I like on it because I'm a nerd. But so this is actually the TI-84 plus CE, which stands for color edition. On the next screen, you'll see it. But notice it has a graphing feature. It has sine, cosine, and tangent, which you won't really get into. But it has more of the features that you're going to need. I also suggest the sooner you get it as a student, not sooner as in like in the next 2 days, but the earlier math class that you get it, the more familiar you will become. When you get into Algebra 2, you definitely have to have one, whether it's one that you find on the internet or if like your teacher has a few whenever you get into Algebra 2. But the sooner you get it and the more familiar you get with it, the easier Algebra 2 will be. If you're trying to learn a calculator and learn Algebra 2, you will get overwhelmed. So I suggest you get one of these calculators. They are expensive. So I was talking about how the calculator or the graph paper was only $1.47. I haven't looked this year, but typically these run $90. So it's expensive. And I know that right now for a lot of people, you just don't have that money to spend on a calculator. So, and again, I'm not saying that it's required. We won't actually need it for a little while. You can always use one on the internet or find some calculator on the internet or use your phone calculator, at least for now. There are some applications too that I'll look up that you could get. But if you are able, and if you were looking to go buy a calculator, those are the calculators that you should start thinking about purchasing. I'm going to move to the next screen so you can actually see the pictures of all of them. So this is a TI-83, more than likely. This is what, I don't know, at least I know that whenever I was in high school, these calculators, the TI-83 calculators, had been around for a little while. More of these were the new ones, the TI-84 pluses. And then probably in the last like 8 or 9, no, probably like 7 or 8 years, these color editions were the ones that came out and everyone was using. You can see that there's the red graph and then the blue graph. That's what the color edition is good for, is you can see the different graphs, where if you're looking at these ones that are not color, you wouldn't see which graph is which. You would have to know for yourself. But whichever one you were able to get, if you were able to get one, will work. They all have the same thing. Literally the only thing that's different is the color. All right, so next thing, grading. So this is a high school math class, so make sure that you take everything seriously. So you'll have assignments, quizzes, and tests on Schoology, and you'll be using the Mathia individual stuff, which is the online platform that goes with your textbook. So you're in Algebra 1, you should be having the Algebra 1 textbook. If you don't, either email me or we need to call the school to get you the correct one. Since you're in Algebra 1, you need the Algebra 1 textbook. You do not want the one that says Course 3, which is for Math 8, or Course 2 if you're a 7th grader. So please make sure that you have the right textbook before we get to work later on this week. But Mathia is the online platform that goes with that textbook. It's a lot like Imagine Math, where it doesn't necessarily follow exactly the lessons that you're on. It's more of just to help you. But I definitely think Mathia is better than Imagine Math was. But that's just a matter of opinion. You will get a percentage grade on all of your assignments, and it's going to tell you the percentage you got correct. You will also have a percentage grade in my class, not a met, not yet, or the 4, 3, 2, 1, and all of that. You will have an actual percentage grade that will stay on your transcript. You will also get 0. So if you don't complete an assignment, you will get a 0 and it will bring your average down. We'll get into just a second how much those assignments are actually worth. Anytime you have a Schoology assignment, they're always assignments, always have multiple attempts. If you need more attempts after that, like say you forgot a subtraction sign or a negative or an equal sign or an X on your last attempt and it marks you wrong and you would still like to get a 100, which you should always strive for, you can always email me and I can unlock or I can unsubmit your last attempt. If for little errors like that, I can also add attempts for you so that if you are struggling and you need more attempts, but if I usually do 3 attempts, if you're needing more than 3 attempts and you're still getting most of the questions absolutely wrong, you will probably want to ask for help. And that's why I don't just let it be unlimited. Is once you've hit 3 attempts, you're probably struggling on something, unless it's a simple error. And you are going to just need to get help. In just a minute, I'll talk about when each day you can get onto a live Zoom call with me and I will help you. You could always do that. You can always email me or message me on Schoology and I can help you with those attempts. Okay, so like I was saying, this is a high school credit. Every time you apply for a job or for college and they ask for your high school transcript, this class will show up. If you fail this class, you will have to take it again in high school. This class will also be calculated into your grade point average, which will affect your class ranking in high school. So if you have older siblings, class ranking is something that a lot of people worry about. It helps with scholarships. The higher your class rank is, usually and the higher your GPA is, it will help with scholarships into college. So since you are choosing to take a high school credit class, that means that this class will count for your GPA, your class ranking, all of that. Okay, not trying to scare you, just want to make sure everybody understands where we're at. Okay, grades do count this fall. It will not be a pass-fail like it was in the spring, since we were just thrown into online learning. It will actually count for you and you will be held accountable. So like I said, if you don't turn in an assignment, you will get a 0. All right, so this is how grades are calculated. So your semester grade, so we have Q1, Q2, and then the exam. So you can see Q1 is worth 40%, Q2 will be worth 40%, and then exam 1 will be worth 20%. 40, 40, 20 is 100. So say you had a 90 Q1, and then you had an 85 Q2. Or yeah, let's do it. So 90 and 85, when you average those two together, you would end up with 87.5. So then you would also have to get or pass your exam, and that will be calculated in. So remember that after you pass Q1, that does not mean that you've passed the whole semester. You have to do well or get an A in Q1 and an A in Q2, and then do well on your exam in order to get an A for the semester. So that always messes with people, and we'll talk about that more later on in the quarter. But just make sure you can't just all of a sudden at the end of the quarter decide that you want to take it seriously and get an A. You can't just do that. You have to try the whole time. So quarterly grade calculations. So each quarter, 50% of your grade is going to come from tests, 30% will come from quizzes, and 20% will come from assignments. That's actually the same, at least it was last year. I haven't checked again, but I was told last year that it was going to be across the district, that everyone has to do the 50 for tests, 30 for quizzes, and 20 for assignments. And so that does mean you have to take tests and quizzes very seriously. Assignments are worth not very little, but they affect your grade a lot less. So I always have students say, well, I got a 100 on every single assignment and my grade is not a 100, but then they go and take the test and they get a 75%. It will drop your grade significantly just because that one test will be worth so much until we get more tests in there. Okay, makeup work. So students will be allowed to make up assignments on any goal, and that says goal, but it means assignment. That was a typo. Until the end of the topic, not until the end of the quarter. So I don't, and that's the way high schools work. I think you guys, or I told you guys in the About Me video, I taught at the high school at PV for 6 years. And I can tell you that it's not just, oh, look, it's the end of the quarter, let's go make up a bunch of goals. That's not how it works at the high school. You'll have until the end of the topic, not until the end of the quarter, okay? Students will be able to complete corrections for tests and quizzes for half of the credit back, and we'll talk about those at another time. But you do, so since tests and quizzes are worth so much, I always believe that it's pointless to take a test or a quiz and not see how you did, and not find your mistakes. So after any test or after any quiz, once everyone has taken it, and I do have to wait till everyone's taken it, so you can't just share the answers, I'll let you do test or quiz corrections, and then you'll be able to get half your points back. And so say you got 70, you could correct it and bring it up to an 85. So you would be able to bring it from a C to a B. So I always think it helps a lot, not just for your grade, but for also being able to see what you did wrong so you don't make this mistake again. That's why we learn from our mistakes. Okay, rules. I know this video is dragging on, so I'm going to try to go quicker, but be respectful. Don't make rude comments. Don't interrupt people during Zoom calls or any other time that you're interacting with them. Be responsible. Own up to your actions. If you don't do anything all week and you get a 0, it's not my fault that you didn't do your stuff. So just own up to it. Send me an email. Say, I'm sorry, Miss Alonzo. I just blah, 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 whatever it is. I have a sick aunt. I don't know, I forgot about math. Whatever your reason is, just email me and let me know, and I will work with you. But just own up to it. There's no reason to lie to me about why. If you forgot, you forgot. It happens. Complete your required work. You are responsible for the work. If you do not complete the work, you will struggle on the test and quiz, and it'll make it more work for you later whenever you make up your, it says missing goals, but whenever you correct your test and quiz. Attend Zoom meetings. If you're not able to attend, please email or message me to let me know so I know that so I can tell you what you missed. If it's just as simple as watch the video on Schoology, then I'll just tell you that, or work on Mathia, the online curriculum. So just let me know. I know some of you guys are taking care of younger siblings, so it happens. So again, Mondays are for independent work. I'll have meetings and planning, so I will not be able to quickly respond to your emails. So math is scheduled to meet on Wednesdays. I have a 5-year-old, a kindergartner at home. My husband's also a teacher that's going to be having to do live classes. And my kindergartner is going to actually have to do classes as well. So it's going to be a challenge all around, of course. But so I plan on every Wednesday morning from 9 to 12, I will have my live class that is scheduled by Hermosa. We do have to have one, or I have to have one live class a week, and math was decided for Wednesdays at Hermosa. So you can see the schedule. It starts at 9, goes to 9:30, first hour, third hour is my prep, fourth hour is my other Algebra 1 class, and it goes from 10 to 10:30. So that's the times that you would need to log in. And I'm pretty sure I have a plan for what I'm going to do on Wednesdays, but it's not finalized yet, so I'm not going to tell you one thing and then change it. But that is the plan as of right now, is to have the live classes only on Wednesdays. If you need extra help or have questions, every Hermosa teacher will have an open Zoom meeting, and you can find those within Clever by clicking on the Clever and then the teachers page from 2 to 3, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so not including Mondays. And this will give you time to ask questions from assignments, or how do I do this, or how do I log in? That will be a time where you can always ask me or ask your other teachers. Okay, all work for the week is expected to be turned in by Friday at 4 o'clock. If you can't get it in Friday by 4 o'clock, I'm not gonna really care if it's turned in over the weekend. I know some students are taking care of younger siblings, and you have to wait till your parents are home to complete stuff, and that's fine. But I would like to have it all Friday by 4 o'clock, because whenever I go to start planning, if I see students were struggling a lot on an assignment, I will give us extra time the next week. But if nobody has been completing the work, I'm just going to assume that it's because we haven't done it, and I'll start planning the next day. So I do like to have work completed before I start planning for the next week. Attendance will be taken, and it's going to be logged by you completing work on Schoology or on Carnegie. So that's how we will take attendance, and we were told we are required to take attendance. I believe that's the last slide. Yep. So again, guys, hopefully you didn't get overwhelmed by that. It's just all of the beginning of the year stuff that we have to do, and it's just on a Zoom or on a recording. So please let me know if you need help. You can email me, you can message me on Schoology. I get my emails on my phone. Schoology actually will send me an email saying I have a message, so it pops up on my phone as well. So you're just going to have to let me know though when you need help. I will try to keep up with it and try to catch when students are needing help, but of course I have however many students and however many sections, because we have virtual and then in person whenever we get to go back to in person for first hour, fourth hour, all of the classes. So I actually have 12 classes listed on Schoology and PowerSchool. So it's hard to keep up with sometimes. So please take the responsibility. You are in a high school credit class, and so you need to take the responsibility and let me know if you're needing help. Okay, so see you guys in the next video.